You're listening to the Sacofitcast, coming to you from Saco Sport and Fitness in Saco, Maine. We are Maine's most comfortable club, offering you full circle health and wellness with personalized fitness, personal training, and nutrition programs to keep you happy and healthy, mind and body. Thank you for joining us. This is the Sacofitcast. We want to hear from you. If you know someone that's an inspiration to others at the gym or in your wellness circle, send us their name. We also encourage you to submit your questions to our personal trainers, fitness instructors, and registered dietitians. Send your email to info@sacofitness.com. That's INFO at sacofitness.com and put podcast in the subject line. We will get your topic or questions answered on air. Keep listening wherever you listen to podcasts, here on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Feel better, see results, and be healthier today. Welcome back. We're joined with Katie today on the Sacofitcast. We're doing a member spotlight. Katie's one of our longtime members, off and on for probably 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Came back last year consistently in January. You've done so much stuff athletically speaking. So I would love to delve into, you know, when you were younger, did something spark your interest in physical fitness or eating healthy? How did it all start? How did you get to the point where you are now? I want to talk about the extracurricular activities that you do that include marathons, half marathons, those race things in the mud that I could never, ever do in my entire life, ever.
They're called Tough Mudders.
Tough Mudders, yeah. Yes. You've done 3.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy, amazing, and very inspiring.
Thank you.
So let's get back to take me to your 20s.
Yeah. So I was, an athlete in high school. I played basketball and softball. My family was athletic. So it was really after high school. I went to college. I didn't play sports. And I, went to college, started drinking with my friends, gained weight, did the typical thing. And then, so it was really towards the end of my college and after that of how am I going to figure this out now? I'm not on a team sport. I don't have a coach telling me what to do. Mm-hmm. No one's making me show up somewhere 3 times a week. So that's actually the first time that I joined Saco Sport.
Oh.
Way back then. I actually used to live right across the street over there, and I would just walk over, and I had a friend at that time. We would come and do step class at 5:30 in the morning.
Nice.
And that was sort of how I first got back into it. And then just over the years, just sort of kept up with it. I would, take some time off and then come back later. And then after my second child, I have 2, after one of them,
yep,
is really when I got into running, and then really set some goals to do some long distance running.
Okay.
Did my first half, and then eventually started doing marathons.
But would you call yourself a runner? Because
No.
I wouldn't look at you and say you have that runner mindset. So how did you do that? How did you train yourself? Maybe I could do it. I shouldn't keep saying negative things about myself.
You could totally do it. I'm not, well, okay, here's the thing. I would have never said that I'm a runner.
Okay.
And I had run my first marathon, and I was still saying that I wasn't a runner. And I had a conversation with another runner, and she said, yeah, I had to change my mindset on that. She said,
okay,
I run, therefore I'm a runner.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I've run a marathon and I'm still going around telling people I'm not a runner. And I realized that was just to protect myself.
Okay.
Because I'm not winning marathons.
Right.
I'm not going to qualify for Boston.
Yeah.
I'm running 5.5 to 6 hour marathons, So it was really, like you said, changing your mindset and
yep,
being yeah, I'm a runner.
How long did you train for the first one?
So the first one, I trained for a half. My first half was terrible.
Okay.
And then, so about a year later, I did my second half, and then that one was a lot better. And so at that point, I was like, well, if I'm going to do a marathon ever, I might as well do it now because I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
So that's when I started training, and I probably did, 5 months maybe,
okay,
of marathon training. And my first marathon was in Vermont, the KeyBank Vermont Marathon.
Now, at that point, were you also training nutritionally, or were you not?
I really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I've only really recently started figuring out nutrition. We could talk about that. But the thing is that I always struggled with marathon training is you're running so much,
mm-hmm,
you're exercising so much, that part of it is that your body just needs more food.
Yep.
And part of it is that I gave myself permission to eat more food.
Okay.
So I'm I ran 20 miles this morning. I can have the chocolate chip pancakes,
right,
and bacon and sausage and eggs and
right,
whatever else I want. So I've actually I never lost weight when I was marathon training.
Okay.
No, I actually kind of felt like I gained a little.
Wow.
Yeah, which I've heard other people say.
Okay. Well, you have to fuel your body.
Yeah, you're eating.
You do have to eat. I mean,
you're eating, and it's a lot of stress on your body. Like towards the end of your training, I would literally be like, all right, bye, hon. I'm going for a run. I'll be back in 4.5 hours. And by the way, when I get back, I'm not going to do anything. So please
don't
care
talk to
of
me.
Our children.
Take care of the house, cook dinner. See you tomorrow.
Exactly.
So what do you do here for workouts typically?
So typically when I come here, I
like
do
more
a
lifting
class.
or more cardio. Okay, class. Yep.
I have a squat rack in my basement, so I do a lot of lifting at home because I can do it in sort of weird hours.
Yeah.
When my kids are home.
Yeah.
But when I come here, I do a class. I've done active. I do spinning. I do blast with Bob. I do that on Wednesdays. I've done power. I've done synergy. Yep. So I like the variety.
Yeah.
Because I can get bored when I do things.
Yes, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And so you do. How much would you say you lift or strength train? And do you do that mostly at home, or do you do the classes here and then you like remember to do it and you're like, oh, I'm at home, so I'm just going to lift?
Yeah, I do. I had been doing lifting twice a week.
Yep.
And doing that just at home. And then recently started getting some fitness coaching, some nutrition coaching, and then based on those conversations, I increased that to 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I'm doing cardio. I usually do like 2 classes a week for cardio.
Yep. So let's bridge over to the nutrition part with nutrition counseling. And I know just from talking to you that you saw immediate almost results within a week of sort of adjusting your food intake and what you were eating and how you were eating and when you were eating. So talk to us a little bit about that, because I do feel like I know everybody always says it, but I'm not sure it's like sunk in yet to people. Like food is very, very important.
Oh yeah, it's like 90%.
Yeah.
It's like 90%. So I have been, prior to meeting a nutrition counselor, I had been, trying my hardest.
Yeah.
My whole life, basically, trying different things. Last year I did keto in January, and I was like, I need something, and I ended up losing 10 pounds on keto and felt pretty great, and then slowly but surely gained it back over the year, and then started this January heavier than I was last year, which is kind of a pattern that I've done. And so when I met with this counselor, it was like, we talked about my life and my goals and what I do and what I like to eat, and she upped my calories and she upped my carbs.
Go figure. Who does that?
Who
knew?
I had been trying to eat 1,500 calories a day, and I'm, 5'10", 180 pounds, like active girl. I'm a big girl. I can eat. So she was basically like, you're trying to eat 1,500 calories. Like, that's not enough for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And pretty quickly I realized that I was,
starving
myself during the week.
And your body was using that fat reserves.
Yeah. And then overeating on the weekends, partly because I was hungry and partly because it was the weekends.
Right.
And so I was like, I deserve this.
Yes.
I work hard.
Yeah.
And then, just eating too much and drinking too much on the weekends. And then at the end of the week, being heavier than I started, even though I was really, really trying, most of the time.
Right. And then beating yourself up on Monday when you're like, oh, start all over again.
Jeans don't fit.
Yep.
Great. Can I wear leggings to work? I'm not sure.
Not sure if that's appropriate, but we might have to do that this week. So give me a basic rundown of a typical food day for you. I'm curious.
Yeah, so what I do, so she upped me to 1,800 calories. Wow. And the big message is, your macros matter, but really, like, that's after calories.
Okay.
So for the beginning part, it was really just about, like, what's your calorie goal, and, like, how can you stay in there?
Okay.
So she upped me to 1,800 calories. So before, for breakfast, I was eating 2 hard-boiled eggs. Like,
me too. Yep.
Throw them down and then go out the door.
Yep.
Now I'm eating 2 pieces of toast with guacamole or avocado and 2 eggs. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm having, like, before I go. And it's delicious.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it keeps you full?
And it keeps me full, and it's so good. 3 hours later, I have some almonds, 14 almonds to be exact. Salt and vinegar. They're so good. Have you had salt and vinegar?
Yes, I have salt and vinegar next to my bedstand. Yep.
You might want to put those back in the pantry, but so 3 hours later, around 10, I'll have some almonds and an apple.
Okay.
3 hours after that, I had been having salads a lot.
Yep.
And even I was, using olive oil
Yeah.
and vinegar, and I was even bringing a little teaspoon to work and measuring out the oil. And she told me to get a low carb wrap and put the salad in the wrap with hummus or avocado.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
that's
like
good.
that,
Yep.
and eat it like that. And again, so that was like adding carbs.
Yep. And did you notice when you started this that you had more energy? I'm just curious because it's like you just hear so much about no carbs, but it's it's hard to find that balance of eating enough, not eating too many, but having enough to fuel what you're doing every day for physical activity.
Yeah. So I didn't notice it right away. And she would ask me that, and I was kind of like, I don't want to
overthink it. And
I don't want to, I don't know yet. I'm also a mom and I work and I'm going to grad school. It's like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So am I ever really going to have a ton of energy?
Right.
But I have noticed in the past couple weeks that my energy overall has increased.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, I would think you're fueling your body better.
Yeah.
And you're still active. And how's your water intake?
I try to drink 64 ounces a day, every day. And she said that's the minimum. She'd like more than that. But I have a 32-ounce water bottle.
Yep.
I drink one of those before I even get to work.
Okay.
So I make my coffee and I bring my water. And on my drive to work, I'm just chugging that water. And I try to finish that before I even get there.
Yep.
And then I have, the rest of the day to drink the rest of it. And if I work out later, then that's easy.
Even more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. So...
How has this impacted the rest of your family? Spouse, kids?
Yeah, so it's funny because I did talk to my nutritionist in the beginning about so I have a husband and we have very different eating styles. He wants to eat ham and hamburgers, basically anything that starts with ham he wants to eat. I love him dearly, but we just eat differently. I want to eat fish. I like fish. I like Mexican food. I like avocado. He doesn't like any of that. So it's really hard when you're a family and then you throw some kids on top of that who want to eat pizza and chicken nuggets all the time. What is the balance there? I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out.
Then you end up cooking 3 different dinners and it's exhausting.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think maybe some other people do that, but I don't do that. But, she had kind of said to me in the beginning, maybe he could meet with her, or she's like, do you want to do, just modeling? And I'm like, that doesn't work for us because we just eat so different. However, it's been a couple months now. I've actually lost 14 pounds since January 1st, and I'm eating more, and I'm not hungry, and I feel great.
Yep.
And so just recently, he's been like, okay, I'm going to start making changes. And what was really great about that is it wasn't me pushing him. I've really just stepped back and said, I'm on my own journey and I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's your journey. Absolutely.
And I think in the past, as I've tried to figure it out, even with keto, I'm like, oh, keto, I feel so great. This is amazing. You should be doing it.
Yes. Yes, you said that to me.
That's what I do.
Don't eat that bread.
Yeah, and it's so, I don't even have things figured out and I'm trying to get other people to do it, or I'm trying to get him to do it, and that's not right. We're all on our own journeys. And so for this, I've tried to been just you have to own your choices. You own all of that. So if you want to talk about it, or you're asking me, you want to ask me what I do, that's great, but I'm not going to try to pressure you to eat one way or other. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. Yeah. And he started to make some healthier changes.
Good. And that's all it takes is a few choices here and there. Even when I did the 90-day program last year, it was tough in the beginning, and I was making cabbage soup every day and beans. And the kids, I would talk to them about it. 'Cause I'm like, this is what I'm doing. So if you see me eating anything bad, you can say something to me. So now, even now, a year and a half later, they're like, Mom, put down that piece of chocolate right now. You don't need that. Mom, don't eat that pretzel. So it's good. I don't want to make them crazy about food and dieting. I don't think they ever will be, because all they eat is chicken nuggets and French fries anyway. Yeah. But it's nice to have that support in the house, because I'm like, okay, they're keeping me in check. I don't want to fall off the wagon. I don't want to do that again. So I just think it's interesting when there's kids involved and spouses and
yeah, and one thing that I try to do I try to food prep. And I try to
Food
make
prep.
sure that, like, at the very least, I have cooked chicken in the fridge. I actually do, like, hard-boiled eggs and chicken.
Me too, but I get so sick of chicken.
Yeah, but there's so many different ways that you can do it. And one thing I've been experimenting with is, like, different spices, which is what my nutritionist said. Like, instead of doing the oil or, you know, the ranch, I could drink a bottle of ranch dressing. But I found a spice called hot sauce and ranch dressing. It's just a spice that tastes
like your dream.
It's like my dream, and it's 0 calories, and I can sprinkle it on there, and, you know, maybe, you know, and I don't need the ranch dressing. And so it's just been like, so for the kids, like when they're coming home or there's a late practice,
you have something.
At least there's, you know, there's chicken in there, and we can make a vegetable or throw some French fries that they have with their chicken, or just, it's just something there that everyone in the family will eat.
No, do you do the food prep on Sundays?
Typically.
If you get around to it.
But if Sunday's busy and I do it and I can't get to it till Tuesday night, then I do it Tuesday night. Yeah. Like, I just need to make sure that I do it.
Another tool that you use here, besides having a gym buddy, besides having nutrition, you are a proud proponent and a recent proponent of the MyZone. So tell us how it changed your fitness habits and your motivation and your success rates and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I am obsessed with the MyZone. So I got it for Christmas this year. So I'm on, you know, this is my 3rd month. And I had seen it, you know, I seen the TVs up there, but I didn't really know what it was. I figured it was a heart rate monitor or whatever, but I never really knew what the colors meant.
Exactly, yeah.
And then when I got it and I really figured out, like, the colors tell you basically, like, how hard you're working, and then how hard you're working translates into points called MEPs.
Yep.
And then if you get a certain amount of points every month, you get ranked.
Status.
You get a status. So the first month in January, I met my points. I actually, like, killed it. I exceeded it. And so I got ranked, so I'm iron ranked.
Okay.
And then if you hit those MEPs 3 months in a row, I believe you become bronze after that.
So you have to do, it doesn't just automatically bump you to bronze if you go beyond that the second month. Okay.
Right. It's all about months. So it's 3 months in a row. So I did it in February.
Yep.
So once I hit it in March, I'll bump up to bronze. And then the next one is 6 months in a row, and then it's 12 months. And I believe it goes all the way up to 48 months. And then you're, like, killing it.
Platinum.
Like, if you miss a month, it will knock you down.
Okay.
There's, like, certain levels, like, where if you don't do it, it knocks you down, but maybe not all the way. But for me, like, just going back to when I was doing all that endurance running and was running those marathons, I haven't run since 2016. So basically my last marathon was the New York City one, which was the end of 2016.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was my favorite day ever. Aww. And then I immediately quit running.
Yeah.
So that sort of made me enter the next phase of my life, which is like, now what? Like, now how do I'm not training for something. Like, how do I just work out on a regular, consistent basis when I'm not actually training for something? And MyZone has given that to me. Aww. Because now I can do whatever I want. It can be, you know, just like walking outside or lifting in my basement or doing a class here, and I'm still like working towards a goal. Yes. So not only
it's tracking, you're earning, and then they will reward you.
Yes. And even if that's just like how I'm ranked, it helps me when I'm in the class because I know like how hard I'm working. But then in addition to that, it gives me like something to work towards.
Absolutely.
Which I love.
Yeah, I love it too. And I love getting the emails after my workout saying like, congratulations, you've met your goal for the week. And I'm like, already? Yes. You know, it really does make a difference because it sounds silly if you don't already participate in something like that or have a gadget like that tracks your progress and your heart rate. And at first I was like, what do you mean rewarded? I don't need to be rewarded. But then I started getting rewarded and I was like, I love this. Yeah. And even when that day I told you I forgot, and you're like, you're never going to reach status if you keep forgetting your MyZone. I was like, I know.
You never want to work out without it.
Never.
And it's super helpful for me in spinning because so much of spinning is like, you know, you can fake it. Like, they can tell you to turn it up super, super high, and you can just not do it.
You can just coast.
You can coast if you want. Right. I mean, you're only cheating yourself. But with this, I can look up on the board and say, like, oh, I'm at this heart rate. Everyone else in the class is in...
Well, we were all in green, and you were in red, so we were doing something wrong. I was like, what is she doing?
I was working hard.
Yeah, you were. I was not.
But I knew that I was because of that.
Right.
And I knew, you know, that I was pushing myself as much as I could.
Yeah.
Whereas without that, like, you don't always know.
Right. Awesome. All right. So everyone get your MyZone at the front desk, $99.
Yeah,
All
totally worth it.
Another thing I noticed is that you often come in with your neighbor. And I was going to ask you, do you think, I really think it's something when you have a gym buddy. She's kind of like your gym buddy. And I would even see you guys and be like, oh, that's so great that they come in together because you're being accountable for yourself and for her. And it's fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I feel really lucky that, she's actually the reason why I came here. Because we are neighbors and we were hanging out and she was like, oh, you should come to Saco Sport. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm ready and then I was like, I'll just do it. And so there is a social aspect to it, but it's also, we'll text each other a lot on Friday night and say, are you going to the gym in the morning?
Yeah.
What's your plan? And then we'll kind of say like, well, my kid has a basketball game at 9, so I have to go to the early class. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll go. I'll do that. Yep. So like usually Friday night when I'm going to bed, I already know what my plan is for Saturday morning. Yep. And sometimes we even say like, okay, I'll pick you up at 6:30. Yep. So it's like
there's no wiggle room. Like we're going. Yeah. And that even when you texted me about going to R30, it's like I might have been sitting at home like, oh, do I really want to get up and go to the gym? But as soon as I got that text, I was like, yes, I'm going. She's going. I'm going.
Yeah.
And then we were all there. So it was fun and it makes it worth it. And then it's done.
Yeah. And the other good thing about her and our gym relationship is that if I text her after work and I'm like, oh, I'm leaving. Are you going to the gym today? Yeah. And she's like, no, I can't. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Like we don't.
I like that. Your gym relationship. Separate from our drinking relationship.
Yeah. There's much more pressure on that one to be there. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you can come, great. If you can't, great. But we never ever say we're going to go and then don't show.
Right.
Ever. I have zero tolerance for that. And she probably does too.
I think I'd be afraid of you too.
Okay, I give people one chance.
Okay.
Because that's the other thing. To me, it's like very demotivating if I make plans with someone to go to the gym and then they cancel on me 10 minutes before. I am very likely not to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's across the board.
Yeah. Now, my neighbor is kind of opposite. Like, well, she'll text me and say, like, oh, I really don't, I'm looking for motivation to go. Like, do you want to go? And I'd be like, oh, I can, I have this or whatever. And then she uses that as, well, now I have to go. Because I put that out there into the world. Oh. And so now I have to go. Yeah. So we're kind of opposite as far as that goes. But, I mean, I think either way, nobody likes the gym buddy that's going to cancel on you.
No, of course not. It's almost like having a sponsor. This is like our 12th step. No, but I'm serious. It makes it more fun, and it's a motivating factor for sure. And the fact that the classes are fun. And so, yeah, I agree that there is a social aspect to it. And just having the nutrition part of it here as well available to our members makes a huge difference, like you said. And you've already seen results. I think that's amazing that you've already lost 14 pounds.
Yeah. Like, it's been really good. And, I mean, I'm not really hungry, but I am tracking what I eat every day.
Right. And I think, like you said, with the other topic we were talking about, journaling, it is important, and you have to be consistent. And if you, like when I was doing the 90-day program, we had to journal our food every day. Yeah. And I think that's why it worked, because when I don't, it's like all up for grabs. And I'm like, oh, did I really eat that bag of chips? Oh, I'm just not going to write that down.
Yeah. Whereas I'm like making myself write it down. So I might grab like a handful of, like I ate some tortilla chips the other night, and then I went to enter them in, and it was like 14 calories per chip or something like that. And so it was fine. It fit in. Like, you can do that. But it is like, oh, all this little picking that we do.
It adds up.
It does really add up.
It does.
So you can do it. You just have to be mindful of it.
Yes. Being mindful. I like that. That's a nice way to end the segment, Katie. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, Katie Hadiaris, thank you so much for joining us. I love talking to our members about their fitness journey and their wellness journey and how you stay healthy and fit. And I love that you're always doing something new. You're kind of tweaking your fitness regimen and everything else to make it work for you and see results. And I think that's amazing. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was fun. You're listening to the Sacofitcast, coming to you from Saco Sport and Fitness in Saco, Maine. We are Maine's most comfortable club, offering you full circle health and wellness with personalized fitness, personal training, and nutrition programs to keep you happy and healthy, mind and body. Thank you for joining us. This is the Sacofitcast. We want to hear from you. If you know someone that's an inspiration to others at the gym or in your wellness circle, send us their name. We also encourage you to submit your questions to our personal trainers, fitness instructors, and registered dietitians. Send send your email to info@sacofitness.com. That's info@sacofitness.com and put podcast in the subject line. We will get your topic or questions answered on air. Keep listening wherever you listen to podcasts, here on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Feel better, see results, and be healthier today.